Morning. It's the Autistic Roller Coaster. Autistic Entrepreneur Podcast, Episode 2. It's day 60. It's a warm, sunny morning. Let's get into the quiet room. Part 1. Overcoming anxiety and meltdowns. I suppose you all know what anxiety is, so I won't go into too much detail here. But meltdowns, on the other hand, are when an autistic person loses control of their emotions in overwhelming and unexpected situations. I'm also aware that some people have shutdowns where they can become unresponsive in these types of situations. However, I won't cover shutdowns here as I've never personally had one, so I don't know what they feel like. Perhaps some of you can help me understand what a shutdown feels like in the comment section. Transitions can cause anxiety or meltdowns for me. Now, these can range from unexpected situations that can happen in the moment or the fear of the unknown in new situations. My early transitions in school were the worst. It felt like everything I'd learnt before had been erased. I lost my bearings and didn't know where I would go next, and it wasn't very pleasant for my parents either, as I would have meltdown after meltdown, as I thought I would fail both my GCSEs and A-levels. It got so bad that my mother, who did help me with my homework, even said that she would get a private tutor for me. It scared me to the point that I started to think of ways I could work independently. This is when I used my structured approach for the first time. I started managing the time I spent on homework and do the same for client work now. A simple change to my routine went a long way in ensuring I passed my GCSEs and A-levels. It also reduced the meltdowns I had by a significant number in my adult life. Time anxiety was a problem for me in exams, employment, and even in project work in my business. I'm slower at processing and interpreting instructions, so therefore it would take me longer to complete tasks. I was afraid of not meeting other people's expectations. So why was it a problem for me while I was running my own business? The negative experiences I had in exams and employment influenced my own expectations. I didn't realise for a while that I could adjust my expectations, which is exactly what I do now. I've become a more flexible person through my profession and removed my time anxiety. I've realised that constantly adjusting is part of the entrepreneur job description. Misophonia is a condition where certain sounds irritate or even anger people on the spectrum. Not all autistic people, though, have misophonia. In my case, keyboard typing, whether it's on my own or someone else's, hinders my processing as I focus more on the noise than my thoughts. It's another reason why I'm slower at completing tasks. To counteract my misophonia, I wear Bose noise cancelling headphones and listen to music on the noise cancellation level of my choice. If you have noise cancelling headphones, I'm interested to know which ones you have. So yeah, comment below. Part 2. My business skills. Now, I mentioned structure in my previous podcast, which I'll put a link to if you want to watch that first. It is the core of my business skill set. For example, I create spreadsheets to define my life and financial goals. I now know what milestone I want to achieve and exactly how I'll get there. I organise my calendar for each day the night before. at least I get up and I can start work straight away, instead of spending 30 minutes to an hour organising my calendar. Last but not least, I even create a structure for when I work my way around a room at a networking event or a social event, which eliminates my initial social awkwardness much quicker and increases the number of people I connect with. How structured are you? Let me know in the comments. Now, discipline is my greatest asset in helping me get through a task, no matter how complicated it is or what my morale level is like. Even if I had to do a task in the early hours of the morning, my discipline will kick in. Even if I had an anxiety attack or a meltdown from a setback, I know full well that I have the resilience to complete a task within the set time frame. No matter how rubbish I feel, it is immediately the opposite upon completion. My intuition has allowed me to find creative ways to understand the world around me. Lessons or experiences I had in the past, which form my intuition, are the ones that stick in my long-term memory. If something isn't intuitive, it won't stick. It's as simple as that. The final point I want to mention, which is related to intuition, is that I strive to be excited and never happy. Understanding the relationship between excitement and happiness is probably the most overlooked skill from what I've covered so far. Excitement is an emotion that gives me my determination and drive. On its own, happiness is the emotion that gives me short-term contentment. As a result, I see happiness as a byproduct of my excitement level. Before starting a task, I always give it a mark out of 10 in terms of excitement. I enjoy work much more when I know how much it excites me. I am therefore more productive. Part 3. Key takeaways. Before I go into the key takeaways, a listener from my previous podcast gave me the idea to create this episode. They said it would be good to know more about your autistic skills you have in business and how you have overcome the autistic challenges that you faced. I just want to say thank you for your request, and I hope I've fulfilled it. Anyway, let's get to the key takeaways, which are as follows. So, use structure to manage transitional periods in your life. Point number 2, constantly adjusting expectations is part of the entrepreneur job description. Point 3, buy noise-cancelling headphones to combat misophonia. Number 4, if a lesson or experience you've had forms your intuition, it will stick in your memory and especially your long-term memory. And finally, strive for excitement in your life, never happiness. See happiness as a byproduct of your excitement. Now, is there anything else you've learned from the Quiet Room today? If so, comment below, and I'll see you next time. Thanks guys.